Good morning. This is the promised webinar talking about love, the energy of love. Okay, so good to see you. I'm Dr. Leonie Morris, energy psychologist and energy medicine practitioner. I wanted to start this by thinking of that wonderful Beatles song, All You Need Is Love. Because actually, from an energetic perspective, as well as in a very common sense way, love is the most powerful energy in the universe. So let me start by saying what you'll get out of this today. So I'm going to take you through some gentle energy medicine exercises, a little, a run through, a flow, a module of moves and maneuvers of touches or postures, which will literally just stimulate and shift the energetic patterns in and surrounding your body so that you are more open to love, so that you receive more love, and so that you can share more love. And actually, this is in the quantum physics world, in the very real world of energy, everything is energy. Einstein said it, E equals MC squared. The energy of love is how we connect with each other, and it's a reciprocal world. So what the energy that you put out there is like a giant magnet, kind of a signature for who you are attracting, and like attracts like. So if you're putting out this wonderfully confident, open, very fulfilled, complete energy pattern, then that's the type of person you'll be encouraging and drawing in towards you. You are a giant love magnet, if you like, for pulling more loving energy into your world. And that's love in terms of romantic love, in terms of the love you share with your friends and family, in terms of the love that you have for yourself. And actually that's the most important thing. So if you want to live life from the heart with more, being bolder, being more courageous, if you want to be more yourself and you want more loving in your life, whatever that love looks like, then please join me today. This is absolutely for you. And with energy medicine, if you haven't joined me before, energy, our energetic body requires lubrication. Our body is like a giant battery, and like any battery you can buy in the high street or online these days, it needs fluid to get the energy flowing. It needs fluid to maintain the proper polarity. It needs fluid to keep the energy patterns in harmony and in cohesion. So your energy body always wants to come into cohesion and balance. Why isn't it like that? Well, all sorts of reasons. The 21st century is not great for restoring our energy. We don't live according to the seasons. We don't live according to the circadian rhythms of natural light. We don't eat highly energetic food. We take in toxins. We have a sedentary lifestyle. So many reasons. And that could be a whole another video. So if you're interested in hearing about why the 21st century is toxic to your energy patterns, then let me know. I'm here to serve. So please let me share what's of interest to you. So that's one reason the 21st century is not good. But equally, what we've learned as we've grown up and developed also affects our loving energy. And very simply, from the ages of 0 to 7, we are developing our psyche. We are developing our feeling of safety and security when we're 1. When we're 2, we're developing how we connect. We're relating, our emotional balance. When we're 3, it's about stepping into our own identity, our own personal inner power, our willpower, our strength, how we are perceived by the outside world. And by year 4, we're getting into the love stage, when we appreciate that what we do can bring love towards us from those that are surround us. So our behavior, our speech, our intentions, our actions can actually evoke and bring more love in, and equally they can shut it out. And actually, when you're 4, in that whole age group up to the age of 7, you're incredibly impressionable. You are like a giant sponge with no filters. So at the age of 4, when you're developing into what love looks like, how I get more love, whatever happened to you in that particular age at 4 will sit with you. It will generate patterns, repeat behaviors throughout your life that will either serve you or not serve you. And this is an interesting one. So we're hoping to be conscious maybe of some of those patterns and help release them today so that your heart is more open. So those patterns are things like, if you are learning to love at the age of 4, your primary caregivers, your parents, whoever looked after you, your siblings, whoever was around you when you were 4, they will be the people who shaped what love looks like, how you relate to love, whether you feel love and whether you give love. So if your parents were kind of a bit like mine, a bit stiff upper lip and didn't really express love because it wasn't the done thing when I was growing up, well, maybe you kind of keep, you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, you keep your feelings to yourself and you don't show love, you don't express love very easily because it's what you learned. Actually, that's a limiting pattern, because the more you can share your love and express your love, the more open you are, the more prepared to be vulnerable. Well, actually, that's inviting more love in. I'm okay, I'm sharing my feelings for you. It's more likely to invite other people in to be more loving back. So those are the patterns I'm talking about. If your parents were very loving, very expressive, were not conditional in giving love, then you will be balanced in your heart energy. You will be a loving person, share love easily, express love easily. But if you're out of balance, if you're protecting and defensive, that can actually lead to depression, because you're rigidly holding whatever you have to yourself. You're not sharing love and you're not open to bringing more love in. So your energy is depleted and low, and you're not sharing the wonderful electromagnetic energy of your own heart. Your energy sinks down and low, and that's depression. If your heart space is, sorry, I'm just going to have to switch this off onto quiet. Oops, sorry. If your heart space is excessive, if you have too much love to give, if you felt that maybe your way to get more love into your life was to be super loving, it can actually be turn into neediness and clinging. So, or indeed controlling. You can be trying to have a vision, an expression of what you expect love to look like, and if people don't give it, well, you're quite forceful, confrontational in trying to control it and get what it is that you need. So having your heart energy in balance is where your energies are trying to take you, but the patterns you learned as a child might be limiting you, keeping you depressed or a doormat, low in energy, or they might be making you controlling or needy. We don't want any of those things. So let's start on bringing more nourishment to our heart. So I hope you're lubricated. Your hands are all the tools that you need. So I'm doing this in a very relaxed environment, in my own home, in any clothes. It's good to, you can do the sitting down, standing up. You don't have to be wearing yoga gear or exercise gear. You can do energy medicine 24/7 and just tune into you. It's totally free. You are the expert of you. Just tune into how you're feeling. And these are your electromagnetic energy tools. They literally have what's called chakras, energy pathways that can pulse energy back into your own body to get rid of stagnated energy, pooling energy, blockages, to get flow happening again. So good energy is flowing energy, it's flowing forward, and it has space to move. So we're going to start off by nourishing our heart space by crossing our arms over our chest and tucking our hands into each armpit. Now that means we're crossing the energy over our heart space. We're crossing our arms in that direct spot over our heart. So inviting our energies to cross. And it's drawing focus to the energy of our heart. And I invite you in this self-loving hug. This is bringing compassion. It's literally saying, I love myself to your body. It's saying, I'm okay, I am worthy, and I'm bringing self-love, compassionate healing to my own body. And that rocking motion, whether you rock forwards and backwards like I do, or maybe you like to rock side to side, any rocking invites a natural kind of calming influence to your central nervous system, inviting your heart to slow down, lowering your blood pressure, just putting you into a calmer space. So you can hold this position as long as you like. And whenever you're feeling a bit, disheartened or maybe heartbroken, heart sore, this is a wonderful move just to invite more love into your electromagnetic heart, into your heart energies, to boost and to nourish, making sure that you're breathing deeply from your belly, in through your nose and out through your mouth. I always like to remind people to do a longer out breath, because when you do, your next in-breath you take is bringing more fresh oxygen into your system. So it's igniting the energetic flow. And as we're focusing on our heart, almost imagine that when you're breathing in, you're expanding the area through your belly and into your chest, and imagine a beautiful light entering your heart space, bringing that energy of loving compassion. Because when your heart is full, when you accept your whole self, then you are more likely to have your loving cup, full up, or at least half full, and you're more able to love other people. You're more able to face the world, any confrontation, any challenge, from a strong and centered space. So that's the first move I'd like you to do. And now I want you to think back. As I said, we're going to release some patterns today. So if you feel that maybe your parents didn't give you enough love, or maybe they gave you too much and you felt, that you were closeted and you couldn't do anything for yourself, or maybe you felt that you weren't worthy, that any love was given only conditionally. So if you were a good girl or a good boy, or you did your schoolwork well, whatever it is, if you felt that you only were worthy of love because you did something rather than just by being, that's an unhelpful pattern. We are all worthy of love just by being. We are totally unique, wonderful beings by being born. There was a chance of 420 million to 1, or trillion to 1, I believe the statistics are. You are special. We are all special, and we are all worthy of love. So whatever that early memory is that has you feeling that you're lacking in love, you're unable to share your love, or you're not worthy, you know what it is. Bring that to mind right now. If that has you feeling stressed, just put your heels of your hand to your cheekbones and just cover your eyes for a second. Putting your hands over your forehead, we are grounding, making sure your energy is flowing down to Mother Earth, to the ground, taking the negative charge from that memory. We are connecting to your central nervous system. We are touching some wonderful neurovascular trigger points on the top of our head, at our hairline. We're taking the negative, stressful response, the fight, flight, or freeze response out of our system. And just take 3 deep breaths there. until you feel that your energy is dropping into your deeper body, dropping lower into your center, and you feel okay. So when you've let go of the negative charge, and you can do that for as long as you like, if the memory still holds that feeling of, I feel a bit tense and stressed, just feel into your own body. Be conscious of any tension, any dark spaces that you sense inside yourself, and just keep that gentle, loving hold. Rock into it until you feel calm and centered. And then hold on to that memory from that centered space. And what I want you to do is to take your right hand under your left armpit. We're going to use a 3-finger notch, 3 fingers in your thumb or 2 fingers in your thumb, whatever feels comfortable. Just going to gently massage under your arm. And that under your arm is what's called the heart protector meridian, has some key points in your armpit. The heart protector or circulation sex meridian is the part that protects your heart. It's the part that holds on to those memories that you don't want to, that have kept you limited, kept you small, that concern you, that are stopping you from bringing love in. If you get any pins and needles in your hands, by the way, from holding it up, you don't need to hold it up. Keep rest in your body. Any tension will stop the energy medicine from being so impactful. So if it's comfortable up, keep it up. If it's comfortable rested and down, keep it down. And we're rubbing this area to stimulate the energy in your heart protector, to allow you to release this pattern, to let it go because it's not serving you. And you might notice some sore points there. If you do, don't hurt yourself. Just keep rubbing until you feel the soreness starts to ease. And when you've felt that soreness start to go, it might take 60 seconds, it might take longer. I'm actually going to ask you to now trace the energy pathway, the energy channel that runs up the inside of your arm. So from your armpit, up the inside or the bottom edge of your arm, slowly all the way up to your side of your hand that has your little finger, taking the energy to your little finger and giving it a squeeze either side. That is your heart meridian. We've traced it forward, never trace it backwards. We're nourishing the heart, releasing heartfelt patterns that do not serve, and just throw as if you're releasing that pattern. We'll do it again from your armpit, slowly up the outside of your arm to your finger, squeezing your finger and throwing that away. And now we're going to do it on the other side. I like to keep my hand like this, that 3-finger or 4-finger notch, and just rub in that armpit, being sensitive to any pain. You may notice it was more sensitive on one side or the other. That's perfectly normal. And if it doesn't feel sore or sensitive right away, that probably is a sign that you have an energy blockage and it's stopping you from releasing. So just keep rubbing and you might notice the sensitivity start to arise. That's perfectly normal. Just gently rub in circular patterns, releasing that pattern, letting it go, knowing it's okay. You learnt it to protect yourself as a child. It served its purpose at the time and it's no longer needed. You're worthy, you're okay. And now hold your hand in your armpit and slowly take that energy, that old pattern, all the way up the outside of your arm to your little finger, squeezing both sides of your little finger and throwing it away. And one more time from the armpit, inviting the loving energy in, releasing old patterns that don't serve and taking it off your finger. So now we've nourished our heart, we've got the energies nourished in the deep core. They're crossing and flowing, and we've created space by liberating those old patterns and literally shaking them off. And now I want to do a very similar exercise, but it's actually a loop between the two meridians of your heart and the meridian of your small intestine. So in Chinese medicine and energy medicine, the element of fire contains two energy pathways, the one that serves your heart and the one that serves your small intestine. And they are linked. They are the yin and the yang, the female power and the male power. And they are linked to each other because as we bring our love into the world, we want to do so from a wise space. So the energy of your small intestine is about releasing the wisdom of your heart energy into the world. And it's also about taking the wisdom of the world into your heart. So bringing you compassion, understanding, and empathy. So when we trace the heart meridian and then immediately follow the meridian, the energy channel, the pathway of our small intestine, we create a beautiful energy loop that brings our heart wisdom, our intuition, our compassion into the outside world, so that we come and connect with other people from an empathetic, compassionate space. And it also brings the wisdom of the world to ourselves, so that we can be more understanding of our own patterns, our own benefits, our own unique gifts, as well as the things that we might see as our shadow side, and actually allow us to accept ourselves, all of us, inside and out, so that again we're in our fullness. And in our fullness, we're inviting people who are also in their fullness, who are loving, who are complete, into our own energy sphere. So we start, doesn't matter which way you start, I'm starting with my right hand, my left armpit, running the energy all the way up to my little finger, squeezing it both sides, and then taking the energy down the outside of my little finger, all the way up the back of my arm, to down my shoulder blade, giving it a nice squeeze to release the pressure, moving my hair up the side of my neck, across my cheekbone and down, drawing a semicircle around my back of my ear, on my skull, down my neck again, and onto the front of my body into my armpit. So that's the entire loop. We've traced the heart meridian, our heart channel, so boosting the energy, getting it flowing, and then the energy meridian of our small intestine to bring that wisdom, receiving wisdom and giving wisdom from our heart space. One more time, from the armpit, up the arm, to our little finger, the back of our little finger, up the arm, on our down our back of our shoulder, up our neck, onto our cheek, round the back of our ear, back down the neck, and back into our armpit. And now we're going to do it on the other side, left hand into right armpit, down the back of my arm, onto my little finger, giving it a nice squeeze, and then down the back of my arm, onto my shoulder, giving it a nice squeeze, up my neck, onto my cheekbone, semicircle around the ear, down onto my chest and under my armpit. And one more time, from the armpit, up the arm, onto the finger, back of the arm, down to my shoulder, up the neck, cheekbone, round my ear, down my chest and back under my armpit. So you will start to feel a wonderful flow of energy. You might be feeling light and tingly in the chest because you've really opened up the energy of your heart space with compassion and wisdom, which is wonderful. And there's just one more thing that I want to share with you, is that holding now your little finger, encircling your little finger with the grip of your other hand. Doesn't matter which way round, you can do it on both hands. This is inviting a protective, loving energy. So it's allowing you to feel that love. And it's like a semi-permeable membrane. You're inviting love in, negativity stays out. You stay strong in your heart space. You're feeling love, compassion, and by now your electromagnetic signal of your heart is not just going to be out here to your fingertips when you're outstretched. You know, your normal energy is out here, stretching your arms all around you. And that's the energy that allows you to connect, to make friends, to be intimate, to be compassionate, to heal. That energy is now 10 foot out there, a double arm's length, 3 arms length. And that energy, when you walk into a room with that energy, people will flock to you. They'll be attracted to you. They will sense that deep, nourishing, compassionate, wise energy coming out from you. And that's the energy that when you take into a room and you want people to notice you, to have an impact, to be loving towards you, to listen to you, that's the energy that you're bringing with you when you go through this routine. So hold each finger as long as you like. I hope you've been holding it while I've been talking to you. And I hope you've felt the energies shift. I hope you've released those patterns. And like any energy medicine, the more frequently you do this, if you did this little routine every day, your heart space will be growing. You're reconnecting the circuits in your own body. You're actually creating new energetic connections in your brain so that your habit, your loving habit, becomes a buoyant one, a confident one, a bold one, rather than a needy one or a controlling one or a doormat one. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please share how you felt both before and afterwards. Please share how you're changing your loving energy. So do this for the next week. Tune into yourself and let me hear your stories. If you've got any questions, please leave them here on Facebook. I'm also starting a new YouTube channel called it's Dr. Leonie Morris, Energy Woman, and it's about sharing everyday energy moves that are easy to ignite your own energy, to get to your fullness, to get back to your radiance. Thank you so much for listening. Can't wait to hear your comments.